Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. My topic this evening is about Lok Sabha, about Rajya Sabha, about democracy. Now I know a lot of you all already, if you still are watching me or if you have just logged out, but you think, kya yaar, what topics are you talking about? Democracy, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, so boring. My question tonight is, do we understand democracy? Let's get right into the show. Okay, now in Rajya Sabha there is something called as Rule 267. Now what is Rule 267? Rule 267 is allowing for the suspension of the day's listed business to allow upper house, that is Rajya Sabha, to take up another urgent matter. So the idea is, Baba, listen, you know what, this is a matter of national importance, so whatever is listed for the day, we keep it aside and we discuss this. So this is what you call as Rule 267. This is the prerogative of the opposition. Now, according to Venkaiah Naidu himself, now the Vice President of India is the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. This is the norm. So, according to the Vice President of India, who is the chairperson of Rajya Sabha, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, he has received 10 to 15 notices for 267 this time around. Now, in 2021, these notices were not given heed. What was these notices for? These notices were to discuss Pegasus spyware issue. These notices were to discuss the agrarian problem, the farmers issue. These notices were to discuss the Mizoram-Assam border issue. They had asked for Rule 267 to be applied so that they can discuss these issues and listed business issues aside. They had asked for it, but Venkaiah Naidu did not allow. Now, the last time, what is interesting is the last time this Article 267 was allowed in 2015 and 16. Mind you, 2015 and 16, the chairperson of Rajya Sabha was Hamid Ansari. The chairperson of Rajya Sabha was Hamid Ansari, so he was the Vice President of India. And Hamid Ansari had allowed in 2015. In 2015, incidentally, he had allowed the Rajya Sabha to discuss the agrarian crisis. That was allowed in 2015. That was 23rd of April 2015. And the Kashmir issue, August 10th, 2016. This was again under the Rule 267. So Hamid Ansari had allowed it. But Venkaiah Naidu never allowed the opposition to discuss issues that they felt was of national importance under the Rule 267. The Parliament is supposed to be the temple of democracy. The people inside that Parliament are supposed to be constitutional authorities. Those people inside, they are supposed to work for the country and not their political parties. They are not members of political parties when they are inside that Parliament. They are the members of Parliament, constitutional bodies. Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Speaker of Lok Sabha, all these people are supposed to be constitutional authorities, apolitical. They are supposed to think and work for the country and the countrymen, you and me. That's what they are supposed to do there. And Ahmad Ansari, who is supposed to be from Congress, he allows the opposition to exercise Rule 267. Venkaiah Naidu is from Bharatiya Janata Party. He does not allow the opposition to exercise Rule 267. Are these people working for the country or are these people working for their political parties? Sitting in that constitutional position, that's the question one needs to ask. You know, another very interesting part about Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha also has something similar which is called as adjournment motion. Something similar. That also has not been used. Okay, now let us talk about productivity. Rajya Sabha functioned for 78 hours in 2021, this particular session. 78 hours, out of which 60 hours were lost by shouting, howling. 60 hours lost. 10 hours, 18 hours were put in use. In Lok Sabha, they say 10 hours of actual functioning happened in Lok Sabha, 10 hours. You know what the irony is? The irony is in 18 hours they passed 12 bills, and in 10 hours of Lok Sabha they passed 15 bills. So bills got passed rapidly. Now what happens if bill gets passed rapidly? If bill gets passed rapidly, bills turn into act. Act is law. So laws are made without any discussion, any debate and any thought process. Ideally what happens is when a bill comes, a bill is discussed, debated, it is further at times given to a parliamentary committee. Now I will talk about parliamentary committee. Everybody is not expert about everything. No, every MP doesn't know about industrialization, every MP doesn't know about finance, every MP doesn't know about railways, every MP doesn't know about agriculture, every MP doesn't know about health, every MP doesn't know about it. So what happens is there is a committee formed which is called as a parliamentary committee. This committee is formed by the MPs of Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. They put together, they form a committee. And this committee dwells into specific issues like agriculture, like health, so on and so forth. Finance. Now, it is not that they sit and they plan, okay, they do. They employ experts. They take expert opinions from industry experts. They speak to government officers, experienced government officers. They take their view. So they take expert views. This parliamentary committee forms an opinion and gives the Lok Sabha stroke Rajya Sabha an informed opinion. And then a bill is turned into an act. This is how a democracy is supposed to function. And you know what happens if a bill goes through all this process and then converts into an act? Normally, that act would be an effective and an efficient act. And if it doesn't go through this entire process, chances are the act could be politically motivated and a non-effective act. And I am coming back to the story. 15 Lok Sabha bills passed, 10 hours. 12 Rajya Sabha bill passed, 18 hours. Not a single bill gone to any parliamentary committee. So we are assuming that every MP there are experts sitting in our Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are experts in finance, health, transport, industry, infrastructure, everything. They are experts in everything. This is what's currently happening in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. My conclusion to this editorial is, it is imperative that as an Indian and as a citizen of this country and as part of acting for our democracy, we start understanding the finer points of our democracy. We start understanding what a parliament is, what a parliament is supposed to do, and what the parliament is doing for us. Let us understand that. Knowledge, information empowers us. Empowers us to ask questions to our representatives who represents us in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Ask them questions as to why, when we call ourselves the fastest growing economy, 5 trillion economy and the world's largest economy and all of that, why are our children still fighting malnutrition? Why did people die without oxygen? Why are there no jobs? This information will empower us to ask these questions. And this information will empower us to ensure that we are answered. Understanding the functioning of our parliament is not just our right, it's our duty. That said, there are topics that one would like to discuss, topics that may not fetch. The numbers down may not be huge in this editorial. For the simple reason that, like I said, this is not something that people would want to like to hear or people would actually listen to. These are not subjects. But yet somebody has to speak it. But the problem with us is if you don't speak subjects which a lot of people hear, we don't get our revenues. And we don't get our revenues, we can't pay our bills. To ensure that we still keep talking about subjects that matter to you, even if it is boring and even if there is no huge numbers of people watching it, but we still keep talking to you about subject that matters to you, ensure you subscribe to our channel, because that's exactly what we want to do. And that's exactly why we made this channel. Empower us. Empower us by subscribing to us. Empower us by ensuring that we can pay our bills with your subscription. I would urge you, go to www.hwnews.in, subscribe to our channel. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.